you're drunk and you're stupid. So we're going to kick your ass.
I have had a couple coolers.
Win that game. It's the worst line ever.
Give me a score.
31 zip.
31-0.
Yeah, I don't see him scoring. I can't see it. I don't see a way the Bears can score.
This is going to be a shootout. This game is going to be...
and you didn't bring a gun.
Yeah. Have you seen Jay Cutler?
Much the same way that Pearl Harbor was a shootout.
Have you seen Jay Cutler's wing? Have you seen the zip on one of his passes?
He's drunk, too.
He's got a leg.
You deserve that for your quarterback, Bears fan.
What's that supposed to mean?
He's a drunk.
He's not drunk.
He's a boozer.
Vikings. We'll get to that in a minute. Bears not only will cover, the Chicago Bears are going to win it, something like 37-30. It's going to be it's not going to be what we think of when we think of NFC Central, the old days, NFC North, the current edition. You're going to see Mike Martz pull out all the stops. I admit, I mocked and ridiculed this Bears club, and I'm starting to believe. But it's really more to do with I'm still not convinced that your Packers club is quite as good as advertised. On the road,
no, we're better.
Monday night, you're gonna be 2-1 at the end of the weekend.
Oh, it's no.
Dan from Woodbury?
Yeah, I like the Bears too. I think the Bears are going to win the game. I think this is going to be Cutler's finest performance since he's been a Bear. And I think he's going to have one of those NFC Offensive Player of the Week performances. This will be Jay Cutler's coming out party as a Chicago Bear, and I think the Bears will win the game.
I don't care what he does in his free time. He's going to lose football.
Well, how come I'm a suck-up for picking the Packers and you guys are idiots for picking the Bears in Carl's world? I don't get it. Which way
what do you want, Carl?
Well, because the only reason that Jordan is doing it is to suck up. Because you're not paying me to do the football matchup thing, and then now you guys want to suck up to me. You two guys are just idiots.
Let's go next.
You guys, the Bears are 1-7 against the spread the last 8 games on grass. And Green Bay is 8-1 in their last 10 games on grass.
Are you one of those?
You are dead.
Are you one of those sabermetrician types?
Well, he's living in the past, is what he's doing. Those games are from the past. That's
a trend. Pay attention.
When we're going to I don't want to get too far behind here. We're going to pause. When we come back, we're going to get.
Just sit through a bunch of commercials.
Yeah, well, you can call back if you want.
Get to the commercials then.
Man, he's just.
What happened?
He's taken over the whole segment.
It's
is what
weird.
He's done. We still got 2 big games to go. Vikings, Lions. That'll be our second one, and then the third one.
I got kids to pick up.
Do you really?
Let's pick up the pace.
We'll pick up the pace. We'll get it going for Dan from Woodbury in studio as well.
You're listening to Dan Barreiro.
Still got 2 games to go. The award-winning prediction segment. Dan from Woodbury in studio.
What award is that, by the way? I've never seen it, never heard it.
We multiple awards, really.
Oh, was it multiple?
Yeah, I don't remember the names.
I don't think we can recall the names.
Right.
But we're convinced that sooner or later it might end up being one of those posthumous awards.
Right. Well, that would be my guess.
But that's as close as I can get to. Carl Gerbschmidt is with us as well. The Minnesota Vikings are at home, reeling. They're 0-2. They are favored by 11 over the much-improved Detroit Lions. Justin Guard.
That's way too many points. I thought last week my theory was going to be just pick the Vikings to cover whatever the spread was. I can't do that anymore. Favre doesn't know who he's throwing the ball to. That's a little concerning for me.
Well, that's what he says.
Sounds like we're going to get our defensive backs back. That'll be nice, but I don't think the Vikings are 11 points better than anybody. I think they'll win, but I think the Lions cover that 11.
Carl?
It's really hard to pick the Vikings. It really is. But this is Lions, for God's sake. Think about that. Weren't you supposed to win the Super Bowl?
Well, it's not over.
Weren't you supposed to be good?
Well, it's not over yet.
Well, if we're trying to decide whether you can beat the Lions or not, it might well be. I mean, it is probably over. What's Brett been like this week? Is he kind of like whiny, and is he kind of like
a little bit?
Is he kind of like pouty a little bit? He doesn't have enough receivers to throw to, and does he want to go home? Does he want to quit? Does he want to pack it up and go home? I told you so. I told you so.
You need to get over yourself, man.
I don't know if the Vikings can beat the Lions. I guess that's just too many points. I guess you have to take Detroit.
I would say don't be surprised if when Brett was lined up as a defensive back during practice, that wasn't just to try to get the receivers on the right track. I think he's going to play D-back is what he's going to do.
Might come to that. I'm going to take the Vikings. I think this feels like a trap game to me.
A trap?
I think it might be. Didn't Mason say?
They're going to eat their own arm off to get out.
Mason said. Mason, calm down.
They can't beat the Lions. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's not very. You're not taking a very classy approach to today's
I'm sorry. You couldn't
segment.
beat the Lions.
I don't even know what city I'm in. I was saying Mason when we talked to him about the USC game. USC was favored by 11.
They were,
and he kind of called it a sucker bet. And I thought he meant was it's not going to be that close, and it really shouldn't have been that close. Except they got the garbage touchdown late. Will the Lions get the garbage touchdown late, or will the Vikings ever be that far ahead? I'm not sure the Vikings are ever going to be that far ahead. I'll take the Vikings to cover. But I should say to win, but not to cover.
Do you have that now? Did you jot that down?
Vikings. So, point is, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. It just matters whether I'm right about the points.
Okay, I think I got it.
Okay. Vikings will not cover.
5 words. The roar has been restored. The Lions win outright.
Oh, no, let's not brag about beating the Vikings.
Javid Best.
That's not that big a deal.
Javid Best will be the NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Well, that could well be. A big Javid Best.
Lions will win out. Lions win outright.
The Lions are embarrassing. The Lions are
backup quarterback. Backup QB.
Oh my God.
You're still
It's a serious.
Sean Hill will be the best quarterback on the field on Sunday.
Oh, he has better receivers.
It
for sure.
At least he won't be quitting.
Well, Favre's not quitting. Who said he's quitting?
No, he's not quitting at all.
He's in for the long haul.
And the thing is, you got to pay him how much money?
At least $16 million.
Well,
That's a good deal.
What could our third game possibly be if we've already done the 2 NFC North games?
Oh, who's planning this?
Yeah, what could our third game be?
The biggest game of all, really.
Well, what game could that be? Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh. They're both 2-0. I get that.
That's a good game.
Nobody cares about.
We could have chosen that one.
What is that?
This is the one we're going with.
It's time for another bumper-to-bumper Battle of the Brewster Beaters update.
Touchdown, Bison! Touchdown, Yotes!
I think everybody's jacked up. Are you?
Brew's into it.
He's into it.
If Basement Brew's into it, why shouldn't we be into it?
That's what I say.
Wow.
Bison.
That's as vicious as I've ever heard.
The beauty of it. It's the two teams that over the course of the last 3 years have both knocked off a Tim Brewster-coached Gopher club. North Dakota State, 3 years. Everybody in this town cares.
Who?
North Dakota, well, this show does. North Dakota State is favored by 10.5. They beat the Gophers 3 years ago with a running back who...
Tyler Roll.
Tyler Roll is, believe it or not starting for an NFL team, even though he amassed, was it 300 yards against us?
I think
first half yards.
How is anybody supposed to know anything about this?
And the Yotes were led by a quarterback who had like 500 yards total offense. What's his name?
Dante Warren.
Warren. We lost to the Yotes 3 weeks ago. 41-38.
Right. And lost to the Bison 27-21.
Is anyone listening to this?
Bison are favored by 10.5 at the Fargo Dome. And
is this a joke?
Carl, Guardsy's going.
What? I don't even know where these teams are from.
Well, maybe you should do a little...
I can gather that they're from North and South Dakota, respectively.
Do some homework.
But I don't... Who cares?
I think the Yotes will not only cover, they'll win the game. I'm taking the Yotes.
All right, so Dan from Woodbury's got to go because he's got to pick up his kids. He's picking the upset.
Wow.
He's picking the Yotes not only to cover, but to win the game, Guardsy.
I will. I said that there were too many points for the Minnesota Vikings. That's not too many points for the Bison. The Bison will cover that. What did we go with? 11.5 point spread or
10.5?
They will cover.
How would anyone know that?
Well, you need to study the teams. We have all week.
You don't know what the teams are anymore.
Well, you're supposed to pay attention.
Oh, I'm supposed to pay attention.
Pay attention to college football, man.
Okay, how about I take...
This is a big rivalry.
100 good teams.
It's called a rivalry.
The first 100 good football